that managers are responsible for a lot here. And I know we can look at the more tangible things we can see here, right? The things that it'll line up and see a guy like Kyle Schwarber still bat leadoff, though the on-base percentage is good. It's not great. The batting average certainly is terrible. The home runner bust rate is right there for Kyle Schwarber. But it just seems to work. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? You can't argue when you have results like the Phillies have had. But Rob Thomson just sees this working right now for the Phillies for whatever reason, and he's going to continue to go with it until it doesn't work anymore. Until when they start losing games again, that's when they'll make a lineup change. That's when they'll shake things up again. But if this Phillies team keeps winning, and if this Phillies team stays not just in the playoff hunt, but right now in the playoffs as the season ended today, he's not going to make any changes. Rob Thomson has had a really good feel for this ball club. I know you could say earlier in the season, not so much. But right now, he's had a phenomenal feel for his ball club. Whether that's Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot, whether that's figuring it out on the road finally and giving his team enough slack or leeway to figure it out either for themselves, or he said the right thing at the right time, or put the right lineup together at the right time, or gave confidence to the right player at the right time, whatever it was, he's responsible for that overall atmosphere in the clubhouse. And if that atmosphere is tight, if that atmosphere doesn't match the vibe that the players are trying to set, then all things can go awry. And one of the things I go back to when I think about Rob Thomson, and I've certainly had my quarrels with his ways of doing things, he gets results. As a guy who is not an experienced manager in baseball, experienced bench coach, we all know, but a guy who's not an experienced manager in baseball just seems to understand the vibe of the clubhouse. And when Dave Dombrowski removed the interim tag, and the Phillies did their end-of-the-year press conference, and they talked about Rob Thomson, and they made the change earlier in the season. It came up both times when they fired Joe Girardi and they appointed Rob Thomson the interim manager of the squad. He said that you got to be responsible for the overall atmosphere as a manager. And I know everyone wants to talk about, this is me now, not Dave Dombrowski, but when you talk about a manager, everyone likes to talk about how they're responsible for 5 wins a year and maybe 10 losses. They try to put a definitive number on it like that. It's a hell of a lot more than that, man. In either direction. You as a manager, you could be clubhouse poison. I know we never talk about it with a manager, but you could be clubhouse poison. Or you could be the antidote. You could be the guy that really helps people figure it out. You could be a guy that just, goes up to Bryson Stott and says, hey, guess what? Hey, the front office and I, we've talked, and you're playing every day, man. Go have at it. Nick Castellanos had talked about that with Dave Dombrowski, about trusting younger guys to go out there and just have success or have failure. Sink or swim. Have at it. Let's see if you got it. Let's see if you can play. And Bryson Stott certainly looks like a guy that can play to me. And they just figure it out. I think Rob Thomson does a phenomenal job of understanding the vibe and setting an atmosphere in the clubhouse. And if it's not there for him to set, then he allows the players that leeway. And he'll ride their coattails. And sometimes that's the way you got to do it. If you're a great manager, or if you want to be a good manager at least, you got to understand what's going on in the house. You got to understand what's going on when it comes to this roster. And I think Rob Thompson's done a wonderful job of that. And seeing this turnaround, on the road, I give a lot of credit to Rob Thomson for it. You look at that 371 winning percentage on the road that the Phillies had. Now you're a plus 500 team. That's one hell of a turnaround. That's one hell of a turnaround for the Philadelphia Phillies and for Rob Thomson.